In a world that's changing so fast, it can feel like we're all just running to keep up. But what if we could do more than just survive it all? What if we could actually flourish? Well, today we're going to explore a potential roadmap for how we might do exactly that. So let's just start with a really big question, one that might even feel a little uncomfortable. With all this technology exploding around us, have you ever just stopped and asked yourself, where are we actually going with all of this?
And that brings us to the first big idea we're digging into today. We're basically building our future without a blueprint. We've got all this incredible tech, right? But it's not really being guided by a clear, shared vision of what a better human life could look like.
I mean, think about it. Most of the technology we use every day wasn't born from some grand plan for humanity's future. Nope. It was created to solve one specific need, or, let's be honest, to make some money. And hey, that's not always a bad thing, but it does mean we're kind of stumbling into the future, one app at a time, without ever really looking up to check the map. And you can see this everywhere. We've got AI that can call our family for us, AI that writes our social media posts, even AI-powered toothbrushes telling us we missed a spot. This isn't science fiction anymore. This is just Tuesday. And it's all happening in little pieces without any overarching plan.
So what happens when we just let this directionless progress keep going? Well, the source material we're looking at paints a pretty intense picture. It uses this powerful metaphor of a black hole to describe where we might be headed.
This idea really hits hard, doesn't it? The argument is that because we haven't bothered to define what a good future even looks like, we're not being pulled towards some hopeful destination. Instead, we're just being pushed by the momentum of technology into a future we never intended, all because we never stopped to ask where we wanted to go in the first place. And this is not some abstract philosophical thing. It has a real impact on us right now. It fuels our anxiety, makes the future feel totally unpredictable, and just adds to this feeling of confusion and fragmentation. That constant low-grade hum of being overwhelmed, yeah, that's a direct symptom of this technological drift. So what do we do when we feel that anxiety creeping in? Well, if you're like most of us, you look for an escape. You reach for a distraction, anything to take your mind off those bigger, scarier questions. Come on, we've all been there, right? Mindlessly doom-scrolling through social media when you should be working. Binge-watching an entire season of a show to avoid thinking about, well, anything. These are just the modern ways we bury our heads in the sand. But why are these distractions so darn effective? Well, this is where it gets really interesting. The source material suggests it all comes down to a fundamental conflict between our ancient biology and the modern culture we've built. Okay, this really gets to the heart of it. Our brains, our biology, evolved over millennia to thrive in a world that was, relatively stable and predictable. But the tech culture we live in now, it's the complete opposite. It's constant change, unpredictability, and fragmentation. It's like we're trying to run the latest, most complex software on a computer that's thousands of years old. Our hardware just wasn't built for this. And the results of this mismatch are serious. The source argues that this is a major reason we're seeing rising rates of anxiety, depression, and all sorts of other health issues. Our bodies and our minds simply weren't designed to handle this level of nonstop input and change. So what's the answer? Is it all doom and gloom? Not at all. The source introduces this beautiful concept called eustasis. The idea isn't to get rid of technology, but to find a balance, to make technology work with our biology, not against it. It's that sweet spot, that ideal state where we're not just surviving, we're actually flourishing. This is the goal. Okay, so how do we get to this state of eustasis? How do we stop drifting and start steering? Well, according to our source, it all starts by asking ourselves one single, incredibly powerful question. This is it. This is the question. And notice the spelling there, your. It's not just your ideal day. It's about our ideal day. What would a perfect day look like for everyone 100 years from now? And this isn't just some fun thought experiment. The argument is that asking this question is absolutely essential for our survival. Once we define what a good future actually looks like, we create a kind of North Star. It gives us a direction, a destination, so we can finally start steering technology towards a future where we can all thrive. So why 100 years? Well, it's kind of the perfect sweet spot. It's far enough away that we can think really big and be truly visionary, but it's close enough that it still feels real, something we can start working towards for our kids and our grandkids. Now, once we have that vision, that North Star, we can start figuring out the core principles that will get us there. The source material calls this our future DNA. Our future DNA is basically the list of fundamental human needs that are non-negotiable. Think of it as a do not alter list. Things like our need for community, for purpose, for connection with nature. These are the things that should guide every single decision we make about the technology we create and the future we build. So, how do we actually do this? Well, it's a process. First, we ask that big 100-year question. Then, based on that vision, we identify our core human needs. From there, we build our future DNA, our list of principles. And then comes the most important part. We actually start using that DNA to guide our choices and our actions every single day. This is so important to remember. The future isn't some wave that's just going to crash over us. We are all actively building it every day with every choice we make. We actually have the power to shape it. We have agency. And in the end, it really boils down to the story we tell ourselves. If we believe the future is scary and out of our control, well, that's the future we'll create. But if we believe we can create a better future, a future of eustasis, a future where we all flourish, then we can. So I'm going to leave you with that same question. What does your ideal day look like? What do you truly need, not just to survive, but to flourish? Because the answer to that question might just be the first step toward creating a better future for all of us.